Well, I read a quote from you in the Detroit Free Press. I thought it was great. You said, you can't have soldiers go in the battle without any armor. We're glad we can help in this battle. So talk to me about how you got involved, what was the thinking behind it, and the importance of this mission.
Sure, glad to do so. Michigan Chinese American Coalition basically was formed in late January. Our original goal was try to help the health professionals in Wuhan, Hubei. And by the late of February, and we've noticed that the disease has been spreading in this country also. We said, hey, we are bilingual. We know who the suppliers are in China. Maybe there's something we can do here. So basically, we are formed with the one desire to help the nurses and doctors here to utilize our know-hows, our languages expertise to help secure some procurement, especially PPEs, urgent needed PPEs from China. So we have donated it to 65 local hospitals in Michigan.
That's fantastic. Joe, it's worth noting 61,000 Chinese Americans in Michigan, according to the last census. And also, give us a little bit of background about yourself, because I read that you understand the supply chains. I mean, that kind of gives you an advantage that many others don't when it comes to procuring these really needed, basically protective equipment.
Well, as everybody knows, Detroit is the capital of automotive in the world, okay? Most of the Chinese companies, suppliers, major tier 1s and tier 2s are located here. We also call home here in Michigan. So we have been doing this business for quite a while in terms of managing the supply chain from Asia to U.S., as well as procurement. So we are glad we can use our professional expertise in buying all these that definitely needed PPEs during this pandemic. So myself, I work for a Chinese-French joint venture, and I run the U.S. operation here in Michigan.
And so that does give you that knowledge base, which is great. But I suspect, even with that, there are some difficulties, some challenges along the way. Anything that kind of stands out that you had to overcome?
Right. There is thousands of suppliers in terms of masks suppliers in China. It's very difficult to filter through who's the authentic FDA-recognized supplier in China. And the logistics also is a nightmare. As you can imagine, right now, we stopped the direct flight from Detroit to Shanghai. We have to get the stuff in from Chicago or California in some cases. So it's not an easy task.
Yeah, you have to kind of think outside the box. But talk to me about feedback, because one of the nice features about this is you get to deliver the items. What kind of response are you getting, and how does it make you feel?
Well, I think, it makes my community members feel really good in terms of our, we're stepping up to help more critical needed, especially during the first 2 weeks of the pandemic in Michigan. The state of Michigan right now has been ranked the third, the number 3 in country in terms of coronavirus so far. So we see the peak time, I hope, was already passed. But the initial 2 weeks, 3 weeks are very, very difficult for the local hospitals to get all these critical needed PPEs, face masks, N95s, and medical gown, all the stuff. So we are glad we donated 230,000 masks and then 10,000 medical gowns to the local health professionals. So.
And Joe, let me ask you one final question before we let you go, because a lot of people are starting to talk about the actual eventuality that perhaps we'll see a second wave. Maybe in the fall we'll see more of this. Do you keep things in place? I mean, you're talking about the peak maybe going away, but are you going to try and keep this apparatus in place in case, it's needed again down the road a piece?
One news I'd like to share with you is that definitely there are some companies are talking or are preparing right now to set up their own face mask production line here in Michigan. So we can do this real quick because we have experience in terms of machining, fine-tuning, commissioning the assembly line. So we are in the preparation of making masks here locally in Michigan at this moment. So hopefully by fall, we hope we can be prepared to make some of the N95 or regular even masks here in the state of Michigan.
Well, Joe, I'm sure the frontline people are very, very thankful for what you're doing, and it's just great to see. So thanks so much for sharing your story with us tonight. Really appreciate it.
Thank you. Glad to do so. Thank you.